Our next segment is one that's truly going to help you. Ivy League Construction is a full-service home improvement company, and that means additions and garages, kitchens, baths, roofings, siding, windows, insulation, and concrete. We're talking one company can do it all. You don't need 5 or 6 companies. Now, when we're talking about concrete, were you on your old concrete all weekend? Maybe you were in the garage, you were partying, people were up and down your driveway. If you weren't real happy with it, it might be time for a change. And Mike is back, Mike Washington, to talk about the options that are available to you when we're talking about concrete. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy July 7th. Did you have a nice weekend?
It was great. It was fantastic.
Wasn't it wonderful?
Beautiful weather. Everyone was out. It was a great time.
Yeah, it was super.
It was.
I went to a couple of parties myself, whether we were with the neighbors or out on my patio or at my niece's. And a lot of times we were on the concrete.
Sure.
And I'll tell you, when it's brand new or when it has been redone, it looks phenomenal, and you want to invite everybody in.
For sure. You want people to come over to see it. There's less trip points. The stairs are actually at the proper heights. No reason for anyone to trip, or you have your family over, you have your mother, your father over, and you want to really just make sure it's all right.
And
really.
Mike brought some pictures because depending on the job that you want, whether you want a traditional looking concrete or maybe you want something that's going to actually improve the look of your house, it is all available for you now. I mean, just, Mike, what is this? This looks great.
This is a stamped concrete walkway and border around an exposed aggregate driveway. So it's a couple different pours here. There's a brown and tan release and colored concrete that is the walkway and the border. And then there's tan concrete, which is exposed aggregate, which we actually wash off the cream. Gives a real decorative look. It's a different look. It kind of gives you an old world feel, but it's also brand new with today's product, today's quality, today's engineered concrete to go behind it and all the steel to go in it. It really gives you a nice look, and it's different. It kind of pops off.
And Mike, I like the texture, because it's going to grab, as you're walking. I mean, take a look at that. You're going to feel that under your feet.
You feel a lot of texture on the exposed area. The stones are all there, and it's a really pretty look. When you look at it, there's probably 10 or 12 different color stones actually in the mix. So when the sun hits it, it looks different colors from different angles.
And if you want that tinted a different way, like this way it looks like it's more gray, you can do that.
Yes, you can do almost anything. There's almost endless amounts of color options today and release colors. This was another stamped patio. He had an existing stamped concrete patio that he wanted to match, and he wanted a lower level. So this has a brick border going around the perimeter with an ashlar slate inlay. It's a real classic, real clean line look. That was natural concrete, so there's no color added to that at all, and it has a charcoal release to give a high and low effect. It's on the gray colors, and it's a real pretty nice looking job. Really came out nice.
And you can see where the gentleman is standing, probably on the original pad.
Exactly.
And you can just imagine how much more living space this is giving you.
Yeah, he had a small covered patio, and he really spent a lot of time out there. But when he had a party or entertain, like over this past weekend, he didn't have enough room to put more tables or chairs out, and that's what it added to him. So they didn't have to sit in the grass.
Oh, that looks great. Okay, all right, and here we go. This is more conventional and with a new part of a walkway that will lead right up to your steps. Yeah,
this is an actual full driveway and walkway, and also the front stoop got done in this project. Now, I wish I had the before to show you, but the stairs were in such bad shape, and the step into the house was almost 12 inches. And she was having a significant amount of trouble actually using that door that she never even used it, which is, that's crazy. You should be able to use all the entrances and exits to your house. And this, we actually were able to get the stairs to have 6-inch step-ups. So every one of those risers are 6 inches. It gives her a nice clean walking pattern, nice gait pattern to be able to walk up those stairs. This was a shot before we installed the railings.
Yeah, I was going to say railings would probably go up there nicely.
Yep, exactly. And then the railings went in. The railings we use today, they could be aluminum, they could be steel, they could be fiberglass, they could be vinyl. There's so many options with that too, and we get into every bit of that. On this project, they had aluminum, kind of looking like old world. But it was all aluminum, never have to paint it again.
And that's what's great about Ivy Lee. They will do it all. You don't have to say, well, I got to call a wrought iron guy. You don't.
No, it's all taken care of.
You'll design it. you'll make sure it's exactly what they want, and then you go and you do it.
Exactly. You make one phone call and it all gets taken care of. This is another stamp patio. This had 2 levels to it. Again, this is a Caesar stone pattern, or a rock bed they'll call this, which is basically a seamless pattern. It gives you texture. This was colored concrete. It was a tan color with a charcoal release. It gives you a different color again, if you notice, and it gives you a little bit of texture to it, but it's not a real deep pattern. Again, the stairs, the same thing again. The stairs going up, those had a significant less rise again. Those are about 5.5-inch risers there. A nice gate pattern again, so you don't have that big 8-inch or 9-inch or 10-inch, which is against code, to have something small.
You know, and I like the idea that you will make that step according to what the needs of the homeowner are. They don't have to be a standard size. I mean, because like you say, sometimes the old-fashioned steps were a little steep.
Yeah, they're too steep, and the tread is too short. Typical tread that we'll put on a stamp, like on that lower tread there, that's about 14 inches deep, between 14 and 16 inches, so you can fit your full foot up there and not have any issues. And then also, as far as the height, you know, we've done from 3 inches high all the way up to 7.5 is about the max we'll do, to have a nice gate pattern to be able to get up. And a lot of times we'll also install aluminum or stainless steel railings that are attached to the house.
Yes.
If people need help getting up into the door, or just to steady themselves once they get up there.
See, every job is custom. It's what you need.
Yeah, exactly. What are your real needs? And by doing these jobs, it's really adding a lot of value to the house too. You know, you're coming in the concrete, and the life expectancy is 50, 60, 70 years. So what you invest today, you're definitely going to get back out when you sell.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks so nice when it's done.
Yeah, and it's easy to plow. It's easy to shovel in the winter. You don't have those big spots where you're going to run your shovel into. You don't have that heaving and frost problems. When we pour these projects, we're going to put steel reinforcement in it. All the mix is 4,500 psi. So you have a real nice product when we get done. This is another stamp project.
Love it.
It's a random stone. This has a reddish tint to the concrete, and then it had a Cordova, a brownish release that went on there. It's a nice look. It's a nice walkway, and that led into a real large patio in the rear of their home. And then the front of that house, we actually did their whole driveway, and that was just natural concrete.
Really?
So you can do a lot of different.
You can mix it up.
Yeah, mix and match, and what works for you.
And then, Mike, after it dries, how long does it take to dry before you can drill for the railings?
For the railings to actually be drilled in, you're talking at least 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, concrete, it takes 28 days, calendar days, to be able to get to full strength, to get fully dehydrated. When we actually pour concrete, we want to get a seal on as quick as we can that day or the next day. Cure and seal we'll put on. What that does is it kind of is like wrapping your concrete in shrink wrap. The longer we can keep your concrete hydrated, the more moisture stays in that concrete. We'll call it green concrete in the industry. The stronger it gets.
Okay.
So the quicker we can get that on, the stronger that concrete get mixed. It's really a very important step of the process.
You know, sometimes that's all you need to finish the house.
For sure.
And what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We have even more pictures to show you when we come on back. So if you saw something you like, stay here, because we have even more information for you from Ivy League Construction. Stay right there.